Former Governor El-Rufai cautions ECOWAS against military action in Niger. EFCC prosecutor frowns at continued detention of suspended EFCC chairman Abdurrashid Bawa. Osun residents fault federal government's 5 billion naira palliative. On the foreign scene, Libya repatriates 161 Nigerian refugees in UN-backed scheme. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. The former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has cautioned the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, against military intervention in Niger Republic. The ECOWAS defense chiefs had on Thursday pledged readiness to participate in a standby force that will restore democracy in Niger after generals toppled and detained President Mohamed Bazoum. In a statement via X, formerly known as Twitter, El-Rufai said, quote, "As ECOWAS beats the drums of war, I recall the 1970s rock classic by Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, because a war within our sub-region is a war between brothers. Indeed, the people of Niger Republic are one and the same with those living in northern Nigeria," end of quote. Niger's presidential guards, led by Abdurrahman Chani, toppled President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26, prompted ECOWAS to give the junta 7-day ultimatum to reinstate the president or face sanctions, including military action. A senior lawyer and prosecutor with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Rotimi Jacobs, has joined the call for the release of the suspended EFCC chairman, Abdurrashid Bawa. Bawa has been detained since June 14 and remained in the custody of security agency. In a statement, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, cited relevant provisions of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 bordering on remand order to show that the continued detention of Bawa could no longer be justified in law. According to Jacobs, the maximum period in which a suspect can be detained in Nigeria through a remand order is 56 days, but Bawa has been in detention for 68 days, contrary to the rule of law. Jacobs said that this must be condemned by all lovers of democracy. The senior lawyer's call comes after human rights lawyer Femi Falana made similar calls for Bawa's release in the absence of formal charge. The Zamfara State Governorship Election Petitions Tribunal, sitting in Sokoto, has reserved judgment on the petition filed by Bello Matawalle challenging the election of Dauda Lawal as the governor of the state. The three-man panel of justices led by Justice Cordelia Ogadi reserved the judgment to a day to be communicated to parties after the three respondents and petitioner Bello Matawalle had adopted their written addresses to close their arguments and presentation of witnesses. The report.
The first respondent is Dauda Lawal, the second respondent is the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the third respondent is the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. They all prayed that the Zamfara State Governorship Election Tribunal to dismiss the petition filed by Governor Bello Matawalle challenging the March 8 governorship election for lacking merit. The three respondents cited Oyetola vs. Ademola, arguing that the petitioner had failed to prove his case, and they therefore urged the tribunal to dismiss the petition. The lead counsel to the first respondent, Damian Dudu, told journalists shortly after the adoption of the written addresses that they prayed the tribunal to dismiss the petition for lack of substantial evidence.
We have finished our duty as lawyers in bringing the facts before the court, supporting the facts of the evidence, and then building upon the evidence with what the law says. With regards to the law and cases decided by Superior Court. And we hope that this will assist the court in making the right judgment as far as this petition is concerned.
Lead counsel to the petitioner, Usman Sule, said in their submissions, they stated that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had unlawfully excluded the result sheet of 98,564 voters of Maradun local government area of the state adding that even when the elections were not concluded in some local government areas, a winner was declared. He submitted that based on the evidence presented before the 2023 Zamfara State Governorship Election Tribunal, they are hopeful the judgment will be in their petition's favor.
And the INEC on their own unlawfully excluded a result sheet from Marado High Government, wherein we scored 98,504,000 votes. And if that vote is collected and added to the figure, Matara could have ordinarily declared the ultimate lawful winner of that election. This was our contest in this tribunal.
The March 8 governorship election in Zamfara State was keenly contested by the then incumbent Governor Bello Matoale of the All Progressive Congress (APC) and Dauda Lawal of the opposition's People's Democratic Party (PDP), in which Lawal defeated the incumbent governor.
The Nigerian Army has rescued another missing Chibok girl named Mary Nkeke during an offensive operation against terrorists in Borno State. The theater commander of the operation, Hadin-K, Major General Gold Chibuisi, disclosed this at a press briefing in Mamalari Cantonment in Maiduguri. He said the missing Chibok girl, aged 27, was rescued by troops of 81 Task Force Battalion in the Kwa local government area. While assuring that the remaining Chibok girls will be found, he added that the rescued Mary Nkeke will be handed over to the state government.
She is on serial number 55 of the abducted Chibok girls list. Mary is 27 years old, Kibaku by tribe, from Kabul Mbola village in Chibok local government area of Borno State. While in captivity, she was forcefully married to one Adam, a Boko Haram terrorist fighter. Since her rescue, she has undergone thorough medical examination in our medical facility. Equally, she has been adequately resuscitated and will be handed over to the Borno State government for further administration.
The Enugu State Police Command says it has killed 2 members of a kidnapping gang terrorizing the state. This was contained in a statement on Monday night by the command's spokesperson, DSP Daniel Ndukwe. Now, according to him, the kidnappers were shot dead during a gun battle with men of the police command while the abducted victim was rescued. Ndukwe noted that the operation was carried out by a combined team of police operatives. The National Union of Miners in Northeastern Zone have decried the setting up of a committee by the Taraba State government to stop people from mining in the state. At a press briefing organized by the union, the group said that over 100 of their miners were arrested in the field at Mbagi Kolo district area of Tongo local government area of Adamawa State. The report.
The Secretary, National Union of Miners Northeastern States, Salisu Shoaibu Mezari, said the union followed all legal procedures, starting with the Federal Ministry of Solid Materials, the Adamawa State Ministry of Solid Materials, Tongo Local Government Authority, and the district head of Mbagi Kolo, where they are carrying out their mining activities. Recently, the Taraba State Governor Abu Keifas banned mining activities in the state, while the committee set to stop mining allegedly crossed the border and entered Adamawa State and arrested over 100 miners in the field.
Since the government started this issue, we have restrained ourselves from speaking because this is something that has to do with the entire state and we are expecting the state to do the needful. As law-abiding citizens, our union is ready to support the state government's desire to make life better for the citizens by not supporting illegal mining too. This is the reason we are always calling on our workers everywhere to ensure that they follow due process before mining.
According to him, the union was issued with a license to continue with their mining activities in the area, adding that stopping their members from mining was against the terms of agreements they entered into.
Members of our committee that have been arrested were operating legally with the consent of the federal, state, local government, and that of the district head of the particular area. Because in Adamawa State, before you are issued with an approval to commence mining, you must have gotten a nod from the ward head up to the Lamido of Adamawa and the state government.
The secretary confirmed that since solid materials ceased to exist in the areas of Karim Lamido local government and the area of Sardona local government for the past 19 months, none of their members mined in the state. He therefore called on relevant authorities from the federal, state, local government and the district levels to intervene for their members to be released unharmed.
To be frank, we are not happy with the Taraba State Committee and what they did to our members by stopping them from carrying out mining activities. We are appealing to the relevant stakeholders, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to look at the situation and do the needful, because those things that our people regard as minor issues sometimes lead to bigger problems.
The union advised the state government to join hands with them in mining to increase the state's internally generated revenue, which, according to them, is a solution to the dwindling economy in the country.
Residents of Osun State have faulted the federal government for sending bags of rice to states to cushion the effect of economic hardship caused by fuel subsidy removal. They appealed to federal government to use the money recovered from the fuel subsidy removal to build refineries rather than sharing rice among Nigerians. Hamid Oegbadi reports.
The current economic hardship in Nigeria has subjected many people in the country to hunger and suffering. In a bid to cushion the effect of the economic hardship, the federal government sent bags of rice to state governments for distribution to the poor. But for Remi Adekunle and Fele Asho, sharing rice cannot be the solution to the hardship and suffering in the country.
So they should help us to build the refineries. They should not share the food for us. We don't need their food. What we need from them is to use the money to build the refineries for us so that the price of the petrol will go down. Everybody will benefit from that one.
You guys cannot serve as adequate palliative for Nigerians. Nigerians are so hungry more than all this rice distribution. How many bags of rice are given to the states? How many bags of rice will the state distribute to each family?
Keeping that rice is just a mere wasting of time. We saw what happened during the NSAS. Some palliative were given to state government. They kept it. A lot of them got spoiled.
The total number of rice allocated to Osun State happened to be 3,050 kg rice. And out of which we have received 2,400 so far.
The residents advised both the federal and state government to devise strategies to stabilize the economy for the betterment of all Nigerians. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we take a look at measures taken to cushion the effects of subsidy removal. Details and more after the break.
Hello and welcome to Book Review on Trust TV, where we talk to African and international authors.
You'll see if you're reading a Chinua Achebe book, you can almost hear the Igbo behind the English.
From memory, I was able to come up with that. Of course, I also had to do research. I tried to tie it to colonial era. I wanted to show the impact they had on the Fulani culture when they came.
Teacher librarians are those who are librarians, but they also teach. They teach the use of library, the use of books. Because if you don't teach, these children, make it part of them, they will not be in love with it. And then you have to select, the kind of book that would encourage them to read.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a look at the top stories. Former Governor El-Rufai cautions ECOWAS against military action in Niger. EFCC prosecutor frowns at continued detention of suspended EFCC chairman Abdurrashid Bawa. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has provided palliatives for 300,000 households, supplementing the effort of the federal government to aid 100,000 households. Zulum made the announcement on Tuesday as he began distributing palliatives to disadvantaged homes on behalf of the federal government. He explained that Borno's case is peculiar since returnees still did not have full access to their farmlands after some parts had been destroyed by insurgency. Zulum said that every home in rural parts of the local government areas hit by insurgency will benefit, noting that 2,000 vulnerable people will be chosen in each ward for the palliative, notably in metropolitan places like Maiduguri. The Kaduna State government has announced a downward review of current fees in state-owned tertiary institutions across the state to cushion the effect of subsidy removal and the general rise in cost of living. The state governor, Ubasani, made the announcement during a parley with journalists at the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House, Kaduna. The report.
The governor said it was part of his commitment to fulfill his campaign promises to the people of Kaduna State, as well as to ensure that there is no record of school dropout due to the current economic reality.
That the extant fees regime in the state-owned tertiary institutions is burdensome and has led to a significant decline in students' enrollment. B. That the extant fees has made many students to either abandon the pursuit of tertiary education or move to alternative institutions. C. That to reverse the trend mentioned, it is imperative that a competitive fees model should be adopted in our tertiary institutions.
Sani explained that the measure is also to serve as palliative as a result of the fuel subsidy removal.
This downward review of the extant fees regime aligns with our commitment to offer palliatives to cushion the effects of the general rising cost of living in the polity, especially in the wake of recent petroleum subsidy removal in Nigeria.
Though parents welcome the development, they, however, want the government to do more to improve the educational system in the state.
This come to us, it's something that long waiting for. It's something that long development that we've been waiting for to happen, because they have said it in their campaign that they will do the school fees, knowing fully well that is one of our itching problems. That the increase in school fees is related to some of our children have to drop out from their institutions.
So there's a need for government to put in to take a proactive measures in ensuring that not only secondary schools are being protected, but even our tertiary institution too.
The previous administration of Nasir El-Rufai increased school fees of tertiary institutions in the state by over 150% in 2021. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Libya has returned 161 Nigerians to their country as part of a United Nations-backed voluntary repatriation scheme amid a spike in irregular migration in North Africa. Reports indicate that the group, about half of whom were women and also included 6 children, was assisted at an airport in Tripoli by the United Nations International Organization for Migration, IOM, and arrived in Lagos on Monday night. Libyan and Nigerian representatives met the people before their departure, which is one of about a dozen transports taking place this year. The North African neighbors on August 10 agreed to share responsibility for providing shelter for hundreds of people stranded at their border, potentially signaling an end to a crisis triggered by mass expulsions of refugees by Tunis. On the foreign scene, former Thailand Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra has been sentenced to 8 years in prison after returning to the country after 15 years in exile. He arrived on Tuesday morning in a private jet ahead of forthcoming election to elect a new Thai leader. Upon his return, he was then sentenced to 8 years on former criminal convictions he claims were politically motivated. Thaksin, Thailand's most successful elected leader, has long been feared by conservative royalists who have backed military coups and contentious court cases to weaken him. Prison authorities there say that he will be kept in a wing with specific medical equipment given his advanced age. I'll now take a quick break. The news continues shortly. Join us again. And now in sports news, Manchester City have agreed to sign Belgium winger Jeremy Doku from Rennes in a deal worth £55.4 million. The 21-year-old has scored 12 goals in 92 appearances for the Ligue 1 side. Doku is poised to become City's third major signing of the summer after Mateo Kovacic from Chelsea for £25 million and Josko Valdiol from RB Leipzig for £77 million. He was expected to travel to Manchester on Tuesday to undergo a medical before the €65 million transfer is completed. West Ham, Tottenham and Chelsea were also said to be interested in signing Doku. Still in sports news, Dina Asher Smith missed out on a 100-meter medal at the World Championships in Budapest as American Sha'Carri Richardson beat a star-studded field of rivals to claim her first major title. Britain's Asher Smith finished a disappointing 8 in 11 seconds after scrapping through the semi-finals. Richardson, contesting her first major final at 23, clocked a championship record 10.65 seconds to take victory. Jamaica's Shericka Jackson took silver ahead of Shirley-Ann Fraser Price. Jackson, the reigning 200-meter champion, ran 10.72 seconds as compatriot, and record 5-time champion Fraser Price finished in 10.77 seconds. And that wraps it up for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.